Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another video. We just got a massive announcement, 4 new Star Wars books all featuring some of the biggest legacy characters are coming soon. No jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. StarWars.com is thrilled to reveal 4 new books featuring never before told tales from across the Star Wars saga. The first one is called Shadow of the Sith, and this one is by Adam Christopher and releases on June the 28th of 2022. This one is set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens and is primarily concerned with Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian. So let's see the plot synopsis and talk about it. The Empire is dead. Nearly 2 decades on from the Battle of Endor, the tattered remnants of Palpatine's forces have fled to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. But for the heroes of the New Republic, danger and loss are ever-present companions, even in this newly forged era of peace. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker is haunted by visions of the dark side, foretelling an ominous secret growing somewhere in the depths of space on a dead world called Exegol. And this is more proof that Lucasfilm are trying to tie in the post-Return of the Jedi world to the sequel trilogy.
That's impossible!
They go on to say the disturbance in the Force is undeniable, and Luke's worst fears are confirmed when his old friend Lando comes to him with reports of a new Sith menace. After his daughter was stolen from his arms, Lando searched the stars for any trace of his lost child. But every new rumour only led to dead ends and fading hopes until he crossed paths with Ochi of Bestoon, a Sith assassin tasked with kidnapping a young girl. Again, a reference to the Rise of Skywalker. Ochi's true motives remain shrouded to Luke and Lando. For on a junkyard moon, a mysterious envoy of the Sith Eternal has bequeathed a sacred blade to the assassin, promising that it will give him answers to the questions that have haunted him since the Empire fell. In exchange, he must complete a final mission return to Exegol with the key of the Sith's glorious rebirth, the granddaughter of Sidious himself, Rey. As Ochi hunts Rey and her parents to the edge of the galaxy, Luke and Lando race into the mystery of his lingering shadow and aid a young family running for their lives. So I can definitely see some people taking issue with this story because it ties in the original trilogy to the sequels. And it also shows that after Return of the Jedi and before they meet properly in The Force Awakens, Luke and Rey did have a run-in. My only question is Grogu going to feature in this novel set 15 years after The Mandalorian? I would imagine Lucasfilm would not want to include him, which kind of hints that Grogu might have returned to Mando by this point. On the other hand, if Grogu is included, the book risks telling us the future events of the child before they're shown in The Mandalorian. Even more significant is if they connect the story of Grogu to that of Rey and everything that comes in the sequel trilogy, which many fans are going to take issue with. But if Grogu does happen to be in this novel, it has to be coherent with The Mandalorian, and they really can't jump the gun with this story. In my opinion, it's probably best to just omit him from this novel and let Favreau and Filoni tell Grogu's story, away from what happens later on in the timeline. But then again, they do have to tell us where he's been during episodes 7 to 9. Unless of course Grogu does not spend much time with Luke and ends up back in the arms of Din Djarin. I'll let you decide for yourself what you think of this book synopsis in the comments down below, so let's move on to number 2. This one is by Mike Chen and it's called Brotherhood, and this one is about Obi-Wan and Anakin who must stem the tide of the raging Clone Wars and forge a new bond as Jedi Knights. Now this book releases on May the 10th of next year, and I must say it's got a lot to compete with the existing prequel novels, especially those by James Luceno. But unlike a lot of those by Luceno, this one is going to be canon, so let's see what it's going to be about. The Clone Wars have begun. Battle lines are being drawn throughout the galaxy. With every world that joins the Separatists, the peace guarded by the Jedi Order is slipping through their fingers. After an explosion devastates Cato Neimoidia,
9th time. That business on Cato Neimoidia doesn't count.
The jewel of the Trade Federation, the Republic is blamed and the fragile neutrality of the planet is threatened. The Jedi dispatch Obi-Wan Kenobi, one of the Order's most gifted diplomatic minds, to investigate the crime and maintain the balance that has begun to dangerously shift. As Obi-Wan investigates with the help of the heroic Neimoidian Guard, he finds himself working against the Separatists who hope to draw the planet into their conspiracy and senses the sinister hand of Asajj Ventress in the mist that cloaks the planet. Amidst the brewing chaos, Anakin Skywalker rises to the rank of Jedi Knight, and despite the mandate that Obi-Wan travel alone, Anakin's headstrong determination means that nothing can stop him from crashing the party, and bringing along a promising but conflicted youngling. Once a Padawan to Obi-Wan, Anakin now finds himself on equal but uncertain footing with the man who raised him. So as I say, this is a Clone Wars novel, and friction between Obi-Wan and Anakin is going to be central. I'm way more excited for this one than the previous one, but let's move on to number 3. This one is by Jennifer Heddle, and it's called Stories of Jedi and Sith. The battle between good and evil never ends. The brave Jedi, the devious Sith. These iconic heroes and villains embody the struggle between light and dark that is at the very heart of Star Wars. In this exciting middle grade anthology, 10 acclaimed authors imagine all new tales for some of the saga's most popular characters, from Luke Skywalker to Darth Vader, from Obi-Wan Kenobi to Asajj Ventress and beyond, complete with beautiful spot illustrations. This one is very much aimed at kids, but sounds rather interesting. But I want to move swiftly on to the final book. This one is called Padawan by Kirsten White. This one is out on July the 26th, and this one is going to be very reminiscent of Master and Apprentice, because we're dealing with a pre-episode 1 novel with a young Obi-Wan Kenobi and his master Qui-Gon Jinn. The synopsis reads as follows. Obi-Wan Kenobi struggles with his place in the Force as a young Padawan. Kenobi really wants to be a good Padawan, the best Padawan ever, but that's feeling more and more impossible with his new master, Qui-Gon Jinn. All of Obi-Wan's friends are off training to be real Jedi, getting mission experience, while he's still on Coruscant, practicing his forms and sitting in silent contemplation. Ever since Qui-Gon's former master Count Dooku left the Order, it feels like Qui-Gon has been too busy trying to connect with the Force or arguing with the Jedi Council to properly train his Padawan. When Obi-Wan finally convinces Qui-Gon to take him on a mission to a remote planet once explored by an ancient Jedi, his master doesn't show up the morning they are to leave, so Obi-Wan impulsively takes off by himself. Upon arriving on the mysterious lush planet, he encounters a group of teenagers with no adult supervision, and all who seem to have some connection to the Force. Free from the constraints of the Order, Obi-Wan joins them in their daring adventures, but the Padawan side of him keeps questioning the teens' strange relationship to the Force and to the verdant planet around them, and what all of it might mean to his future. Obi-Wan will test the limits of his relationship to the Jedi and to the Force in this exciting yet soulful exploration of one of Star Wars' most enduring heroes. So this one is going to give some more backstory to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it sounds very much in line of what we know he was like as a Padawan. Not the most talented Jedi, and his Force abilities did not come to him as naturally as some others. So looking through these books, and as a prequels fan, I guess I'm biased because I'm most looking forward to Brotherhood, and of course this last one, Padawan. I'm quite intrigued for Shadow of the Sith, and I will read it and give it a chance, but I find it really interesting that they're connecting Rey's story to Luke as soon as a few years after episode 6, because that could imply the direction that The Mandalorian goes in, and it seems like it's going to tie in directly to the sequels. And I know how many people have reservations about that, so we'll just see what happens. But that's pretty much it, guys. What do you make of these 4 books? Which one are you most looking forward to read, if you're going to read any? But otherwise, my dear friends, that brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and a huge welcome if you are. But otherwise, may the Force be with you. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.